All right.
All right, we're recording.
Hi, welcome to Working Class Frame Rate. Today, I am your co-host, Austin Cummings, here with my special guest,
Who let you...
JDX, Film Bro Sway.
Who let you start this pod?
We killed the first JDX, and
nobody
now I
allowed...
have the clone.
All right, the adults are talking now.
Class Frame Rate.
Okay, Working Class Frame Rate. I'm co-host Josue with my co-host
Austin Cummings.
And we've reached the end of the year. Sorry,
Yes.
Austin Cummings, bro. We got to address the last name real quick.
Yeah. Dude, my great-grandfather was spitting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We discussed this when we were starting out the pod about your last name and just how your whole life people have made jokes about your last name.
Yeah, since 8th grade, it's been a constant existential battle.
Dude.
To reclaim my name.
Dude.
Yeah, I had to take it back because it's only funny when I do it now.
Yeah, almost like you had to take it in.
Yeah, no, I did not. No, see? I've trained my mind for these moments.
No, you haven't.
Yes, I have.
You're weak.
That's why Bagon is my #1 director. No.
Hey, look, we're getting off topic
I know,
here.
so sorry about that, guys.
Dude,
What a
beautiful fucking year. Okay,
Yes.
I want to talk about this. This year started off really
Pretty
rough, bro.
dismal.
It
awful.
Most of my bottom movies, the ones that we talked about, like
Yeah.
the bottom 5, like the worst movies that I watched this year, were at the top of this year. Which I mean, I guess like that's a norm. I should have expected it because like obviously all the movies that the studios really don't trust always get released in January, and so
January and February are the dumping grounds.
Yeah, it was abysmal. I think it's just because we got used to it last year in 2024 when they dropped Dune in March, and that shit was I was riding that high for months.
Well, and like 2023 and 2024 were like, it was like day one to the last day were just bangers.
Yeah.
Like, it was crazy.
Some really solid 4s. Immediately my mind goes to Conclave.
Conclave.
It's so funny how that became like a
still haven't seen
memed.
that.
It became like a memed movie. Just
I
because
know.
like all the priests smoking their vapes and cigarettes. Like,
yeah. Well, and it's like Succession for like Catholics.
Dude,
Like, I
it was
liked
so good, bro. Conclave was a banger.
I still need to watch that.
But look, this year full of fucking hits at the end of the year.
Dude, it was like it hit that middle ground of the year, and it was just like, by the way, masterpieces now.
Yeah, insane. And a lot of these are international films. Shout out the international films because like it's just been hit after hit after hit. And this is something that we were talking about in regards to like the buying of Warner Brothers by any of the conglomerates that want to buy it.
The conglomerate known as Netflix.
Yeah. I wrote down in a review about how they're speed racing to see who can either bow to fascism or destroy theaters first.
Yeah.
And it's fucking disgusting. But because of these movies, like, and we talked about this, like, just there's so much hope for the future of cinema, for the future of movies, because international films are killing it. There's going to be a new wave of guerrilla filmmaking, indie filmmaking, and we will move past these studios, and good movies will continue to be made. And my top 10 is a reflection of that. There's a couple of mainstream movies in here, but most of these are independent or some international films.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say, to sort of steelman what you were saying, it's like I feel like in times where art is experiencing the heaviest amount of desecration from above, I was telling him, that's when we get really good art. Yeah. And I feel like this year really reflected that. There's a lot of angst and turmoil in these films.
Yeah. No, you could feel it for sure. And
you're scared. That check running dry, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy. yeah.
Look, we want to thank everybody who's been a part of this journey.
Yes, thank
you.
whole,
like, we started the podcast this year. And we went fucking nuts for October. That was the year we worked the most. And look, we've had a lot of hiccups. Not a lot. We've had a couple of hiccups.
I think I think our turnout has been surprisingly consistent for first timers.
Yeah, I agree. And look, we had, I think we're at like a couple, maybe 10 or 20 subscribers on YouTube.
Yeah,
and like
it's slowly growing.
Yeah, and we're growing. YouTube is something we just recently started, so it's been a beautiful journey to experience what works for us, what doesn't. And if you're like tapping in, you're listening to our podcast, we can't thank you enough. And like, this is the beginning. You're here for the beginning. And I see amazing things. One day we're gonna have our studio. There's a lot of dreams and ambitions that we want to get to.
Ambitions and hopes.
Yeah. 100%.
Whimsy hasn't been completely crushed.
Shout out
us.
Jonah. Shout out Hope.
Jonah.
Actually, shout out Jonah for that beautiful fucking logo.
Yeah.
Like, he crafted something incredible. So I want to thank Jonah first and foremost. And if you're looking at that logo, we got to thank Jonah.
No,
for that.
thank you. He illustrated something that I couldn't even visualize myself.
Yeah. Well, let's hop into a type 10.
Type 10?
Yeah, type 10. Type 10
list.
Type 10 B's, right? Yeah.
Esther Kid and Timmy are on this. Yeah.
Dude, what a.
It's so funny.
God damn it, dude.
I know.
Listen, real quick detour on the Timmy thing, okay?
Yes.
It's bad, okay? His raps are not good.
I just
but
hate to see a confident man.
Look, and the thing is, I'm only gonna say this on my podcast because unless I get clipped, which
I'm clipped.
Yeah, you're gonna clip me. I think it's cool that it exists. I had a smile on my face. I was like, wow, this is awesome. Like I was having a blast watching it, but the raps are not good. I'll say that.
That's fair. It's fair.
And it doesn't really matter. He's not a rapper. So
no, he's not.
Yeah. So top 10.
Marty Supreme.
He's Marty Supreme.
Yeah.
Top 10. Do you want to start us off? I would love to hear your number 10 spot.
Yes.
I'm excited.
For my number 10 is something that me and my girlfriend who cried for an hour straight. It was Chloe Zhao's Hamnet. This film is devastating, and I have to say, Chloe Zhao, thank God you didn't die with the Marvel slop. I was afraid that was another great artist that got buried. But
quick detour, love Eternals. I've got a really soft spot for Eternals.
It's not the worst, and I actually think it's more interesting than most of the output from that time.
Especially during that phase to create something so
visually
subtle.
unique.
And it was a very interesting approach to a Marvel movie that I had not seen, and I really appreciate Eternals.
But yeah, this Shakespeare love story had me bitterly sobbing until I almost felt like I had shriveled into a prune. It's devastating. And Jesse Buckley's and Paul Mescal's performances are exhilarating.
Not to mention the Jupe brothers. The Jupe brothers went
crazy. And the
crazy.
cinematography, the sort of the wides of the forest, and the way the film flows, almost like a play in a strange way. It was just beautiful, and it's at number 10 for a reason. I think it's a little more emotionally heavy than I don't know. I didn't find it as thought provoking, but it really did. I just went in for emotions, and it tore me at my core. So
I love the way that she frames everything too. These wides. I have
one of the best third acts too. That ending.
Well, not getting into the third ending even then, but the shot of her in the forest with the red dress and on the corner of the frame with the wide of the forest, the greens, and just I don't know. It was just again, this is a video that I touched upon, or a video that I did on my TikTok where I was talking about how I love letting my eyes wander in a movie and letting seeing everything, and that's something that I took so much pleasure out of watching Hamnet, was letting my eyes just kind of shift through the greens and the trees and everything that she paints with these frames, and it's so beautiful. Chloe Zhao, just unbelievable.
Yeah, and the way she also just navigates these scenes, and I love how she knows when to hold the wide and when to sort of let it glide, and whenever she allows it to stop and you sort of sit with these characters, specifically scenes between Paul Mescal and Jesse Buckley's characters just really hit home, and I felt like there was something really intimate about it that a lot of films this year lacked.
Yeah. I disagree. I think there's a lot of still moments. So at least for my top 10, I had a lot of still moments.
That's fair.
But I can totally see that, especially for the bigger releases.
Hey, this shit had me on my ass crying, man.
Right, yeah. Hamnet is a banger. Number 10. Yeah, banger number 10.
And what is your number 10?
My number 10 is one that is now available to rent. So if you have the opportunity to rent this movie, you have to check it out. My number 10 has to go to It Was Just an Accident.
Oh, I haven't seen this one.
It Was Just an Accident is an incredible movie. Jafar Panahi, an Iranian filmmaker, who wasn't allowed to even make films when he started coming up, and he's been arrested for making movies in his own country.
Rose Brand is going to jail.
But this has one of the best third acts of the year, one of the craziest endings to a movie that I've seen all year. It is funny, it is dark, and I wrestled a lot with my own morality when I was my own morality when I was watching this movie, because especially with the ice raids that have gone on throughout this year, it's just they're given an opportunity to even the score, right, or take their revenge against someone who has done so much wrong, so much evil, so much violence. And the movie is this group of people who have been harmed by this man wrestling on whether or not they fucking kill this guy. And I already love it. It's there's so much tension. There's also so much turmoil because there's one guy on this crew who 100% wants to do this, and there's a lot of holdback, a lot of tension throughout this movie. It's very expertly shot. There's some crazy one-take shots in this movie, especially during some of these heated conversations that just lets the moment sit and simmer. And I just found it to be so it was incredible. And there's a specific part in the third act that is drenched in red as this one of the characters is like letting out everything that she feels. And I like, without spoiling anything, it's probably one of the greatest third acts that I've seen this year. It was just amazing. An accident, 100% worth of your time. Honestly, my top 10. I love all these movies. Yeah. Even my top 20, I have a lot of bangers here. It's just an incredible year. But it was just an accident. Jafar Panahi, my number 10 spot.
Yeah, no, it seemed like one of those movies that it seems like a lot of articulation about morality and death. And, especially since I just saw one of his films recently. Right. Other than that, so I'm excited to check it out.
Yeah, 100%. It was just an accident. That goes my number 10 spot.
Nice. So for my number 9 spot is Sinners by Ryan Coogler.
Damn, number 9, bro.
Yeah, I actually grappled with this one because, see, this list for me shifted so many times.
That's fair.
I really love Sinners. And, I was thinking of, like, all my experiences, especially because I saw this one in IMAX. Sitting in that full packed theater and just feeling that energy of the crowd as this blockbuster was unfolding was electric. I had such a fun time, and I really love Michael B. Jordan's performances, the dual performances. Haley Steinfeld, everyone in this was great. I will admit, I have some little problems with the third act, but otherwise, like, I really just had a great time, and I loved the way it explored music and its relationship with culture, how that attracts even people seeking to, like, benefit from it and reap the resource. It's just really cool, and I liked the spin on vampires. Very unique film, and I'm glad Ryan Coogler is still out there pushing something original and whole, and it was a great time, and it's nice to see that blockbusters aren't a dead genre completely.
What a run for Ryan Coogler, dude. I mean, we're talking, he started off with Michael B. Jordan. He's continued to keep him on. Fruitvale Station. Then they went on to do Black Panther.
Did he do Black Panther 2?
He did Black Panther 2 as well.
I actually like Black Panther 2.
I like Black Panther 2.
One of the few Marvel sequels that's not ass.
Yeah, no, Black Panther 2 is great. There's a lot of wrestling with grief for obvious reasons.
Yeah, rip.
And I just love the villain in Black Panther too.
Yeah,
like, it was so cool to see like a Mexican villain. I was like, wait. I was like, dude, diversity's kind of sick, dude.
Yeah, well, I would even say the way, and not to distract too much from Sinners, but like even the way he intertwines the villain in a way that's not so like black and white, good and evil.
Yeah,
and even with this one too,
he does this with the first Black Panther as well.
Yeah, exactly. And I really love in this film as well that transfers right over where the way the vampires sort of interact with them, and the sense of history, and how, like, even though they're Irish, there's that weird little tether of oppression. I think there's so much happening in this, and the humor worked for me. Just overall, really awesome. And I don't know, I left that theater going, I'm happy for you, Coogler. This is dope.
Yeah, also it became a huge cultural moment. Yeah. I have a lot more that I want to add, but I'm going to save it for when I get to it, because Sinners is in my top 10.
It's amazing. No, it's
awesome.
Except
I appreciate black cinema, so it's higher up in my list.
I know, exactly. Well, Charles Burnett's up there, so
yeah,
I will
you're
give
right.
him his light.
Okay. My number 9 spot is going to have to be taken up by 28 years later. The return of Danny Boyle to the franchise that he started. Very interesting franchise. 28 days later, an absolute banger of a movie that still holds up to this day to me. That third act is a little bit interesting, a little weird.
I missed you, Alex Garland. It's good to see you write real movies again.
My God, yeah. Dude, thank God.
Thank God.
Alex Garland, stick to
just make 28 days later.
Just keep writing. I'm gonna say this: keep writing, brother, because you're very good at writing. Directing, we can talk about that another day.
Yes.
But look, 28 years later, manages to pull off, I believe, like 3 different stories. You get the first part where you have the son and the dad and their dynamic, and everything looks so cool. The night sequences and them running across that bridge is still like burned into my mind.
Oh, it's visually astounding.
Just amazing stuff that they pull off here. I love the iPhone tactic can get gimmicky sometimes, but not for this movie. I don't think it works. I think it works in an effect that really threw me off, but in a good way, especially because we're seeing it through the perspective of a zombie, and because the quality is so distinct to an iPhone, and it doesn't look necessarily good. It is offsetting, and I think that works for the zombies and the clips of the zombies.
Unique.
Like it's just it was so cool. The way everything looks in this movie is beautiful. I love that dynamic between the son and the mother and what that means for both of them. And then of course then you get Ralph Fiennes at the end of this movie, who is phenomenal. I mean, it's Ralph Fiennes.
I mean, just that he showed up in a 28 years later movie and just gives a 10 out of 10 performance is so cool.
It's unbelievable. And like there's tense moments, there's quiet moments, there's
good humor,
dude. There's a lot of beautiful stuff happening in 28 years later, and I think it is such a feat to pull off a third movie in a franchise that he has left for, I believe it must be like
20 years.
Yeah,
now.
almost 20 years later.
20.
And I've heard nothing but good things about The Bone Temple, which is the follow up, which Danny
I'm
Boyle
really
is not
excited for
directing. It's, Ava
Nia DaCosta.
Nia DaCosta. That's right.
Yes.
Really excited for that. So 20 years later. Rightfully sitting up there in my top 10 at my number 9 spot. I'm excited.
Keep experimenting with shooting styles too. I'm glad that it's not just all crisp.
And with intention. That's why it's like you could shoot stuff on an iPhone or whatever other camera, but you gotta have intention and knowing like what you're getting. Especially the idea of using the iPhone rig for the zombies, I thought was a really good idea, and it worked. Well for me.
Get experimental. I like seeing that.
Yeah,
thank you.
Yeah, 20 years later, it's my number 9 spot.
Nice. Okay, and then. On to my number 8. I am going to go with, I had to throw my goat, fellow Greek countryman, Yorgos Lanthimos' Begonia.
Okay.
For my number 8. Now, it's number 8 for a reason, because it's not my favorite of the year.
Sure.
But, it's like the more I think about this movie, the more it creeps under my skin. And, I feel like it's one of those movies where on its surface level, it seems one way. Yeah. But then when I think about the characters, their dynamics, their interactions, their various places in society, it's like so much more is revealed. And I don't know, it's sort of like the underlying strings, like the puppet master start to reveal itself. And I really liked it. And is it his most like dynamic? Is it his most visually, boundary pushing? No. But I think, I don't know, maybe because of just the times we're in, and maybe because I've seen too many conspiracists to that it makes me comfortable. I don't know. It really struck a nerve. And, I can understand some people being like, oh, Jesse Plemons and Emma Stone kind of doing the same old thing. And maybe it's because I just love both of them, but I really think they're, operating off they're blasting off on all cylinders. It's great.
I hate Jesse Plemons.
The way it looks, hey, you know what? Don't say that to Todd, bro. Todd's gonna show up, bro. He's that white boy.
Nah, I love Jesse Plemons.
I know. But it's just, I really loved how dark it got, and you know what? Even for it not being his most boundary pushing, there were still moments in it that had my jaw drop, and I was like, whoa, like that's pretty nihilistic. Yeah. And I like that he hasn't lost that streak in him, of that Yorgos nihilism.
Yeah, I disagree.
That's fair. No, and it's fair. Like I'm not even gonna say it's the best of his filmography. Sure. Trust me. It's not even the highest on the list, but I really did like it, and I can't lie, I really enjoyed it, and I liked what it had to say, and I'm just glad that it's nice to see him still swinging hard, and I'm glad he's taking a break after this because I can tell he's a little tired. But I thought, and especially I thought it was fascinating. It was a remake as well. I haven't seen the South Korean one yet, but as you all know, I love Korean cinema, so I don't know. It was just interesting, and I think it is unique in its own way. It's not my favorite of the year. It's 8 for a reason, but. Yeah, no, it worked for me, and I
there's some shots in this movie that have lingered in my mind. I think about the needles and the balloon and just
I quote it all the time. Psychic compulsions. I me and my my buddy who's not here present right now, but we always quote Jesse Plemons. Yeah, Matt, he's dead.
Oh shit.
But we always talk about quote each other, and we'll be like, he's like the psychic compulsions and all that stuff. I don't know. It really stuck with me, and I think it creeped under my skin in a lot of ways. So that's my number 8. I liked Begonia. It was really good.
Respect. All right, now to good cinema.
That's fair. Not of the top 10 worst.
Let's go through Yorgos. Number, what are we at? 7?
Yeah, we're at number 7. Okay. Oh wait, no, you're number 8.
Oh, my number 8.
Yeah, here's Minecraft.
Oh shit, yeah. Number 8, a working man. It just brings it back.
Eddington.
Yeah, hurry up tomorrow. I'll just start names out my bottom 5. My number 8 spot is gonna have to go to Kelly Reichardt's The Mastermind. This is the best edited movie of the year, and the only reason it's not higher is because it is such a standout in its edit, and it's quite literally a flawlessly edited movie, because by no reason this movie should flow this well when it is this slow or this calm. But it is, I felt like I was moving at 100 miles per hour, even with the slow pace, because the editing is so seamless. And I found out that Kelly Reichardt actually edits her own movies. Oh, really? So she's shooting this, and obviously she goes in and she does the edit for the movie. And then, of course, look, Josh O'Connor has been having an incredible year.
Boy, man.
Yeah, he has so much sauce. That's why I'm not sure if I was talking about it with you, but I don't think I was. I think that Josh O'Connor has more sauce than even Timmy. I think.
Josh O'Connor is I said this to you once after because I love La Chimera, that film with him.
Yeah.
The way the cigarette hangs from his mouth, how he acts with just his eyes, I was like, bro, he's like a star out of the 50s. Like it almost feels like something. He'd be like one of those actors you see on a mural in Hollywood just for being an icon.
Dude, there's this movie he's in called Romeo and Juliet.
I'm sure he's phenomenal.
2021. I haven't seen that one yet.
Knives Out 3. He hasn't seen
Challengers, Knives Out 3.
Yeah.
He was in.
He hates Ryan Johnson, but he was great in that too.
I love Ryan Johnson. Don't ever say that.
He's a Rise of Skywalker fan.
Dude, Rise of Skywalker, bro. I'll burn my eyes before I watch that shit again, bro. There's no fucking way. Yeah, look, The Mastermind, it's a flawlessly edited movie. I found so much joy in the grain and the look of this movie. Watching this pathetic man try to do something he's never done before and failing. He fails by all accounts, and it's just
really?
Yeah, he's a failure. He's a
Oh,
loser.
that's
He's
awesome.
like, he plays a loser, and he plays him so well because there's at no point where I felt like bad for him.
Yeah.
And I was like having such a good time watching this man literally get tossed throughout like his life, just trying to figure out
failing upward.
Yeah, failing. Yeah. No, he's just failing.
Just
There's
failing?
not,
That's
just
even
fails.
better.
Like, yeah.
I love movies where they just fail.
Which is why the title is even better, like The Mastermind.
Okay.
And look, again, this is one of the best edited movies of the year, and the reason why it's not higher is because obviously this is like, I think that it is literally the editing that makes this so high up. And then the story is fine, the acting and the look is great, and it would be. I can't have it any higher because I am just completely awed by the edit of this movie.
You're odd?
Yeah, I'm a little odd.
It's just, I think you're a little, no. Josh O'Connor makes you a little odd. But it's fair. That's what he does. You ever seen him in Challengers? Come on,
bro. He gives me a little edge, bro.
Yeah.
He edges me.
Yeah, he keeps trying to get me to watch Challengers with him, but I refuse.
Bro.
Yeah,
we gotta hold hands and watch Challengers.
No, only if we watch. If I had legs, I'd kick you after.
Bro, that's a terrible double feature.
That's amazing double feature. I know how to curate a bad vibe double feature.
Dude, yeah. Oh, the bodies and climax double feature.
Yeah.
What a night.
See, that's amazing though.
Yeah, that's a great double feature.
And that was your number 8?
That was my number 8.
Okay. And then on to my number 7, Mickey 17 by Bong Joon-ho.
Nice.
You know what? I gotta go to bat for this movie for a minute because I loved what this film had to say about organized religion, unethical science, and how capitalism sort of merges them into this monster. And I think of that opening scene, spoiler warning, where they're trying to get a vaccine and they're just constantly testing it on his clones, and how he's like, they sort of, he's just kind of not a smart person, and they don't tell him what he's signing up for. And just as, the comedy worked for me. There's so many moments I felt intense, so many moments I felt like light, and it all worked for me. And Robert Pattinson also just delivering 2 of the best performances of the year and playing this 2 different people in one movie.
Now the biggest crime of that movie is my viral video that I put out.
Yes, you did.
The 2 Robert
17
Pattinson
Mickeys.
No, the 2 Robert Pattinson should have
right.
kissed.
They
should
have
have kissed. Like,
yeah, and everyone else too. Mark Ruffalo, Toni Collette. Everyone just.
Oh.
Every single actor in this movie is just delivering on.
Mark Ruffalo is incredible in this movie.
He's incredible.
He's also just a phenomenal actor. I think about Poor Things too. His performance in Poor Things and how
Bella Baxter.
How amazing he was in that.
Yeah, no, and I forget the actress who plays his girlfriend in the movie, Mickey 17. If you could look that up for me real quick, but she's doing great work in this as well. I love it, and.
She was in Sorry Baby as well.
Yes, and she was in Sorry Baby.
Naomi Ackie.
Dude, Naomi Ackie is great. She's phenomenal. I love her sense of wit. She's great.
Yeah.
And and sure, I guess you could go off about the pacing. Does it always work? Whatever. I love it. And I'm glad that Bong Joon-ho is still delivering ambitious science fiction and and films that aren't afraid to tackle very poignant and prevalent subject matter, and blatantly too. He just doesn't give a fuck. I like that he looks at you and he's like, yeah, this is about capitalism. This is about you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's great. I gotta go for. I love Bong Joon-ho.
I love that movie too. I'm kind of sad it didn't make my top 10, but that doesn't mean it's not like an incredible movie. I actually really liked Mickey 17.
I really liked that movie.
I'm excited to rewatch, honestly.
Mm-hmm. No, and honestly, I just think you should check it out. It's streaming now. Go for it. I think you're gonna have a great time either way. And Steven Yeun also phenomenal in it. It's awesome. Go check it out.
All right, what are we at? Number 6?
Number 7.
Number 7? Mm-hmm. Holy shit. Okay. My number 7 is Caught by the Tides by Jia Zheng-ke. Jia Zheng-ke, man, this movie is a very interesting one because he takes clips, cut out scenes, deleted scenes from older movies of his. He also grabs outtakes from his movies and then shoots new footage to compile all this into one story that spans decades, 2 decades, and you see the lead actors literally age within the film without like CGI or de-aging. Like they literally have aged throughout time as as he collects and pieces
naturally
together
in time.
naturally in time. And there's something so beautiful about that. There's hardly any dialogue in this movie. And it feels like a...
See, it's very vibey.
Yeah, again, and I describe this as... I felt like I was watching memories I've never had before, like, and it was like part of me almost. And it's it was such a beautiful experience watching this. Also, a lot of the earlier shots from this movie, especially in the early 2000s, I saw their clothing, and I instantly would think about like the clothes my parents would wear in like the photo books that we have at home with like photos of my mom carrying me, and the clothes that my parents were wearing is a lot of the clothes that they were wearing in the 2000s, and I was just like. I felt like I was transported to an earlier time, and just like
beautiful
seeing these people like dance to techno and like an upstairs like little club, and like it's not even like packed. It's just like a couple of them just dancing and like free of phones. And I hate like the old man like, oh, back
the
in
damn
the day.
phones.
Yeah, it's the damn phones.
No, it really is the damn phones. So I get it.
But it was just beautiful. It looked so real, like just them dancing and feeling that out, and following the story of this woman who really wanted to be a choreographer, and then she kind of just like
life happens.
Yeah, just life happens. And again, there's not much dialogue, but you kind of just see her try to maneuver through her life, and she loses someone she loves in terms of not lost. They separate, and then they meet back up at the end again. And it's not really a spoiler. That's just kind of the story itself, the reuniting.
Yeah,
and
I love that environmental storytelling.
There's, again, even when they meet back up, there's hardly any words said, and so much of it is just through the eyes. And my God, I don't know. I was just left really captivated by what he was able to create. Shashanko was able to create with all these different like footage from different things, and then new footage to splice together a beautiful story that makes perfect sense. Caught by the Tides is definitely up there. It's my number. Is that my number 8?
That's your 7.
My number 7. I'm losing track.
He's dyslexic.
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
losing it
but no, beautiful choice. It's actually in my Criterion queue, so I need to watch that ASAP.
Well, you slack, so
dude. I know. Sorry, I gotta get that CCP membership.
Oh God.
And then okay, so on to my number 6.
Yeah.
So my number 6. So 5 and 6 duked it out, and 6 is Sorry Baby by Ava Victor.
Okay.
Phenomenal, quiet, devastating, contemplative. So many general platitudes I could give this film. And, you know, I think what I love about it is, like, I love when films are so, you know, I don't want to denigrate it anyway, but it's sort of like, there's sort of a small scale to it. It's a film, you know, it's like people talking scene to scene, but the implications of the visuals, the words said that are said, simple edit transitions just communicate volumes. And there were so many scenes in this where I was like, it's like her laying down and the lighting on her eyes, and like just the way it just communicated this pain, and the way it's sort of she's sinking in the sands of time as she's stagnant in this house. Just beautiful film. I think what Ava Victor did here is transcendent, and I think I really want her to continue working. And I you know, and this was a very personal film because, you know, I was reading about why she made it, and you know, it's astounding. And I think what she did here is amazing. And also in the way of Hamnet, a la Hamnet, devastating final scene. And dude, by the end of this, I was like tearing up, and I literally stopped and I was like, I get why Josue's tweaking. Like, I get it. It's good, and it instantly shot up. It knocked a couple films down. Like, it's great. It's
unbelievable what she pulls off. Written, directed, and stars. I sound like a salesman for this movie.
Naomi
but
Ackie once again is her friend as well.
And then but Eva Victor just. Directorial debut, also produced by Barry Jenkins, by the way.
Yes,
like
she,
awesome. He saw game.
The vision.
Yeah, he was like, "Oh yeah, you got that. You got
and
that."
Also, really funny. Like, you know, in the way it would be so.
We don't talk about that enough about this movie.
No,
it's fucking hilarious. Yeah,
dude, I actually verbally went ha ha, like out loud. Like, I was
like,
laughing.
What?
ha ha. That's how I laughed.
Don't ever do that
Exactly.
again,
I have
bro.
so many moments. No, and I love the delivery of the humor.
I'm canceling the
Also,
podcast.
pro cat cinema. People who own cats.
I'm
Pro
belting
cat
you.
cinema. Hey, you can hate pro cat
Right.
cinema, but that's your
Pro cat
prerogative. That's
cinema.
your prerogative.
I love
But,
cats.
Yeah, and finally a film that doesn't kill the cat. So
Dude,
I
thank
have
God.
thank God. No,
There is a killed rat though.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. But it's just like
That's the one animal we can kill.
But the Olga the cat, pro cat cinema. I love
Pro
it.
cat cinema. Yeah. Beautiful title.
Beautiful
too.
title.
Sorry, comma baby.
Just
I love the
eloquent
implications of that. Yeah.
so
just,
simple and eloquent.
I loved
it's
it.
great.
Yeah. Dude, there's so much I want to talk about that movie, but I'm gonna say that because it is in my top 10.
That's
We're not
fair.
there yet. We're not
That's
there
fair.
yet. But
Yep, that's fair.
moving on to we're on number
6.
6. My number 6 spot goes to Sinners.
Okay, fair.
You know,
Well, it's not number 1.
no, it's not. Yeah, fuck you.
Say it to Ryan Coogler.
Yeah, you know,
no.
Sinners is just such a beautiful feat. And like you, I had a wonderful experience at the theater. I saw this at City Walk the day before I headed out to Coachella. I ran down. I went to the early release because I was like, I knew
That's awesome.
I was headed out to Coachella. There was no way I was going to watch this on opening weekend unless I watched it the day before. It was a Wednesday early release, and I copped tickets and I went. And just what a wonderful experience it was to just see
So
everything unfold, the aspect ratios change. And I wanted to comment about how Ryan Coogler, even though there's already been a revival of like looking for screenings that have to do with 70 millimeter, 35 millimeter, like there's been a revival of interest in just seeing movies in different formats, and you know whether that be IMAX 70 millimeter, just there's people are interested in what these different formats have to offer and
Film is
experiencing film in different ways. And I feel like that Ryan Coogler video changed everything this year as a marketing tactic to talk about aspect ratios. I mean, by all accounts, that should have never happened. Like I mean, I would have ate it up. But like general audiences like don't really give a shit like normally. But he was able to communicate it in a way that really like impacted or at least connected with people who didn't even know about what 70 millimeter was, what an IMAX 70 millimeter was, and to talk about the different aspect ratios and how to watch this movie. That video got so much traction on Twitter, on social media. Everybody was talking about the different formats, and that video alone, I think, has like not only has it was already on an uphill for the interest in these different formats, but Ryan Coogler pressed the fucking lever and shot that shit right back the fuck up with this movie, and also the fact that this is just an incredible feat. The things that they pull off, I love so much.
It's awesome.
Act 1 and Act 2 are fucking phenomenal. So despite Act 3 being a little sloppy, it doesn't fucking matter because at that point I'm so locked in. I've been so impacted that I can excuse a lot of what ends up falling apart a little bit in the third act. And also, if I really think about it, the third act is just fun. It's just a lot of fun. I love horny vampire cinema. There's so much like we don't talk about like the levels of horniness that Sinners has.
It's crazy.
And I love it. I was in a room packed full of people, and this dude was eating this girl out in the back room, bro. And she was married. That shit was crazy.
That is
like
crazy.
that shit was crazy. Also,
And family saw it too.
yeah,
That was even funnier.
yeah. Just what an absolute banger. And like it's a vampire movie too. Like just
I was gonna
there's
say
so
you
much to
became
love
a
about.
vampire at Coachella after.
Dude,
You were the third act.
Dude, yeah. Started geeking out at Coachella.
Yeah.
I'm a sober man. I'm just playing.
Yeah.
I partaked in a little bit of some babies. That's some babies, and that's about it.
The file's just growing. Yeah.
Right, yeah. All right, fine. I did ketamine.
Yeah.
Just exposed
I
it.
supplied him. No.
Yeah. My plug.
Oh.
Nah, that's terrible.
There we
Ooh,
go.
that's horrible. Sorry to our listeners.
Yeah. Sorry to our listeners. If
probably-
your
did
ears
we
are
mute
still
that?
around.
Should we mute that? We'll let you
No,
feel
we're not
that.
gonna mute that.
We'll let you feel
Get your ears stronger.
Yeah, we'll let you feel the impact of that.
Exactly.
We're
You should.
thu-
The power
we're-
of friendship
we're
should
thundering.
rattle you a little bit.
We're thundering in your earlobes right now.
Okay, and that was your number 6.
That was my number 6.
Bet. So my number 5.
Just ignore it, bro.
Shut up. So today, my number 5 is Josue fucking Stinks, bro. Directed by Mary Bronstein. No. Okay, no, my number 5 is If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You by Mary Bronstein. This one hit the top 5. Uncut Gems for Moms. I loved everything about this. I loved the claustrophobic cinematography, the way it just would play with those close-ups, and then on top of that, compounded by the amazing performances from Rose Byrne, A$AP Rocky.
A$AP Rocky is amazing
in this.
Amazing.
Charismatic. He's hilarious.
I've been championing him since I saw him in Highest to Lowest, and as well as If I Had Legs I'd Kick You. Phenomenal. I'm so excited to see what else he does, and he clearly has a love for
it's that charisma.
Acting. Yeah, it's great. It's great. I'm excited to see what he does.
And I just really loved what this had to say about motherhood. And, I think Loki, a lot of movies about, like, parenthood I feel like are just propaganda. And this felt like finally I got one that was, like, actually kind of honest. And not even in, like, a negative way. Like, it ultimately, I think, comes to a positive conclusion. But the way it gets there and the just nightmare and the existential fever dream of this is...
Nightmare.
Yeah, no, literally, that's the whole movie. Nightmare.
Yeah, it's the Eric Andre bit.
It's amazing. And I think Mary Bronstein, who, her husband is also the co-writer of Good Time, Uncut
Makes
Gems.
so much sense.
Makes so much sense because, like I said, Uncut Gems for moms. I just love this. It's amazing. And I think it really is underrated, and it's like a good kick to the teeth.
Yeah.
Like, it's awesome.
I love the ending of this movie. And
it's amazing.
With I don't want to get into much spoilers, but I felt so much... I felt an odd peace, or it felt very liberating to see her kind of run to the ocean.
It was like a release after the storm.
Yeah, it was such a beautiful ending. What an incredible movie! I loved it. I think that barely scratched. I think that's my number 11. It barely scratched, but it's
so
a
good.
fantastic movie. Rose Byrne.
Yeah, when I sat in that theater, and I loved how, like, parent. I'm not a parent, but just how, like, compounding stress in your life. It can feel like the galaxy sometimes. Yeah. But when you really break it down, it's really a simple story. And I don't know, I was fascinated by it. I was like one of the only people in the theater.
Conan
and I felt
O'Brien.
like Conan O'Brien. Oh yeah, he's fucking awesome.
Yeah, Conan
in this.
O'Brien.
He's hilarious in this. No, it really just a centric movie, and I was really caught off guard by it in the best way.
Yeah, fantastic.
Phenomenal. That's my number 5.
Yeah. Okay, my number 5 is One Battle After Another. One Battle After Another. I mean, like, and it was really tough. I know a lot of people are going to be surprised that it's not higher up. But
that's fair.
Look, One Battle After Another is incredible. It wasn't my favorite.
Yeah.
I'm saying the movies that I got right here above it are I think a little bit, they edge it out barely. But One Battle After Another, it was so much fun. This is probably my most watched movie out of all the 2025 movies. I saw this 4 times. I saw this in IMAX.
Different formats.
I saw it in Dolby. I saw it in IMAX 70mm, and I saw this in VistaVision. And VistaVision was by far the best format.
Is a lot.
Yeah. Especially for a 3-hour movie.
Yeah.
Is it 3.5?
Which, by the way, flows like water.
Well, how long is this movie?
It's 2.5 hours. Yeah.
Is it 2.5 or 3?
No, it's 2 hours 30 minutes. But you wouldn't even know it. It flows like water.
Yeah, dude. It's just absolutely incredible movie. Look, Leo's incredible breakout Chase Infinity role. Chase Infinity, my love. Chase Infinity is incredible in this movie. Card. Yeah, yeah. I just got that. What the fuck? Leo's incredible. Sean Penn's incredible. My standout, Benicio del Toro. I love Benicio del Toro. Two small beers. Yeah, dude. There's not much I can add that hasn't been said already. The third act is incredible. The way I was getting motion sickness from the camera just dipping through the rolling hills, just
great suspense.
What an incredible! Like, this one barely is almost the best edited movie because of the time flow and how it goes.
Yeah.
I just think that the mastermind is able to pull off something more impressive to me because of how slow it moves.
Fair.
Whereas, like, it is a little bit easier to have things flowing like in sequence when it's an action movie or when it's full of tension like that, as opposed to like a movie that's not like in the mastermind. But I do still think that the flow and the pacing of this movie is incredible. It's just, it flies by. I didn't feel the runtime at all. That's why I didn't have any problem watching it 4 times, honestly.
Yeah. No, I mean, even on my second watch, I was like, whoa, that felt like 10 minutes.
Dude, yeah. Just
amazing.
An absolute banger. Paul Thomas Anderson. It got me to watch Inherent Vice, which I ended up loving, that I know a lot of people end up hating.
I wasn't a fan originally, but it's funny because since that's the same author, I'll mention more when it's my turn, but same author.
Yeah. So. No, definitely. That's my number 5. It's going to have to go to One Battle After Another by Paul Thomas Anderson.
Beautiful. We love you, PTA.
Yep.
My number 4 is Twinless, directed by James Sweeney. Dude, I love this movie. It's good thrillers. I love a good thriller.
Yeah.
And I love how this film just discusses male friendships, loneliness. The villain is very creepy, but you know what I think I mostly appreciate about
I don't want to
film?
even call him a villain. He's the protagonist, right?
As in like villain quote, as in like in comparison to the protagonist. I would say
the antagonist.
I'll say it like this: his behavior rides on the very thin line between villain and like weirdo. But I just think like the way this film is messy, like people, our relationships, how, you know, the way people are willing to do such incredibly destructive things to just feel less alone. And, you know, and James Sweeney's performance and Dylan O'Brien. Both. It hasn't, I even said this, it hasn't been since The Lighthouse, since I've seen two men or one man. I don't know James Sweeney how he presents himself, but I was going to say these two are like lightning in a bottle. And I think the way they play with each other, the camera work, the editing, so ambitious, so creative, so unique, and the way it explores this story and the way it reveals certain story beats and how it, you know, comes back, you know, and
his pronouns are he, him. Yeah.
Okay. The way it sort of, you know, replays story beats, but from a new angle and it turns it into something even refreshing again, something you've already seen.
Yeah.
Dude, I was like, I was so captivated by it.
I also love that the twist happens so early on in the movie.
And
I think there's a reason, and it works so well in its favor because you know the reveal, you know the twist, and so it makes every other scene just feel so much like I could feel the weight of knowing the secret and knowing that
when it turns
it's just
into
like
a time bomb.
Right, he's just like wrapping himself in lie after lie and circumstance, and just oh my god, it creates for some incredibly tense moments. Knowing that the truth could be revealed at any moment.
And that time bomb element of him trying to sort of cover his lie with another lie, and the way it plays in each other, it's really like 4D chess at points. Like, it's really crazy. And then Dylan O'Brien being the sort of soft core in the middle of this guy who's just hurt and he's lost his brother.
Yeah, man,
this was like beautiful. And and honestly, it really impressed me. And I even cried. Like, I started sobbing. And even, you know, no spoilers, but that ending and how subdued but also so heavy it feels. Oh, just amazing. And James Sweeney made one film before this. I haven't seen it, but now I'm excited to see what he makes next.
I'm so excited.
I'm excited.
Two things I want to say. The camera work in this is crazy. There's some transitions and some sequences, especially the party sequence.
Oh, yes. There's one continuous shot that morphs into another shot.
It's fucking
and it's
unreal.
Seamless and beautiful.
Yeah, just some of the stuff that he pulls off in this is unbelievable. Yeah.
No, and it's just this little, and you know what's funny is we were joking about the poster being this fuck ass poster.
Yeah, what a terrible poster. The reason why this shit is not as popular, I would argue that it all lies on that fuck ass poster.
When he told me this was a thriller, poster. I actually went, what? Because I thought that poster, I was like some lame ass rom-com or something. It's so, and I'm so glad I didn't brush over it. Well, same thing that almost happened to Babylon. I'm so glad I didn't brush over it, and I took the chance to watch it. It's amazing.
The importance of a good poster, of good marketing, just like letting it like breathe. But you know, I'm glad that this movie has surpassed the marketing, surpassed the poster, and the word of mouth is definitely passing on. I mean, I told you about this movie. Somebody else told me about it because I also I looked past it. I was like, dude, I never felt inspired to watch this.
Twinless with Dylan O'Brien. Okay, Maze Runner.
I do have a soft spot for Dylan O'Brien, but I'm never like actively looking out for his roles. This movie changed it all for me, though.
No,
actually,
I won't say what, but there's one scene involving an elevator with him standing in it. That is, it's so raw, and the way it's just, the
monologue in the hotel, the monologue.
Well, and dude, even just like those intense moments where they're hurt and the pain. It's just go watch it. It's just magnificent. Oh my god.
Also, more straight ally friendship with the gay homie. Like I love that in this movie.
And you know what? I'm glad James Sweeney said no. We're gonna have a gay villain and do it right and make him complex and not make him just boring caricature.
Yeah,
I loved it. He was dynamic. There was layers. It was beautiful. And I would even say it goes beyond just like a gay villain. It's right. It's about loneliness, and it almost, I feel like the fabric of what humans are is torn, and it's just about that tether between us. It's just phenomenal stuff. I love this movie.
I think back to a lot of moments how it's just normalizing just like your gay, like your gay friend and the stray guy who are just like just being friends, and how they're at the supermarket and he was like, oh, like, let me set you up with someone. Like, oh,
Yeah.
I thought that was so sweet and cute. Like, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
this is awesome.
Well, and you can do it in a way that's just not cringe, and I like that James Sweeney like really just wrote so much nuance in it, and you know what, I really think, you know, we always talk about, you know, more diverse representation, and it's like, this is that, and I think you should go see this ASAP, and I love what he had to say with this story.
Yeah, it's incredible.
It's phenomenal. Go see Twinless ASAP. Support it.
Can't recommend
it. That's my number 4.
Number 4. Oh man, yeah, I love
Oh,
that.
I love Twinless. It's so good.
What a banger. Now, my number 4 is gonna have to go to a movie that I've been hailing all year. The movie that ended up giving me the partnership with A24. What's crazy is that this movie, right? My number 4 is Sorry Baby. Okay, Sorry Baby. Eva Victor, directorial debut, written, directed, and stars. Eva Victor. yeah, exactly. Yeah. Sorry Baby at my number 4 spot. Eva Victor. Real quick note about the sponsored ad, right? Like, look, whenever, especially because I do a lot of TikToks. Whenever I do a movie and I talk about it, you post it, and if the company, in this case A24, sees it and wants to promote it, then they'll sponsor your post. And this has been repeated continuously, but I felt so strongly about this movie, and I made the video, and then they decided to sponsor it. Of course, you get a bunch of comments being like, this is a sponsored ad. People who can't think past like 30 seconds. But just, I want to say Sorry Baby is just an incredible feat as a director, as a writer, as an actress. The way that she literally captivates these moments, especially in the house post the incident, where she's just in the house and the house feels like her soul. She sees, I feel like there's moments that feel like a horror movie. The way that it's lit at nighttime and how she sometimes has restless nights. And between the tender moments with her and her friend and how funny those moments feel. And then her in the bathtub, just like the way that she frames herself in that bathtub and just kind of like sinking into there and just kind of letting herself be in that moment and just kind of reflect on everything that's happened to her. And even as we start to near the end of this movie, in that moment with her and that random man who offers the sandwich to her.
Oh, the empathy.
And just that real moment, just human to human like connection in that moment. Such a beautiful scene. One of my favorite scenes of the year. It just stuck with me so much. And I think that even the way that this movie is written is incredible. The way that it's shot is incredible. And her as an actress might even be like, we might overlook it because obviously directing and writing a movie in itself is an amazing feat. But she is really acting her ass off too.
And like really doing a good job too. Like not just like I'm in it because I want to see myself.
Right.
You know?
Naomi Aki, an incredible supporting actress. Awesome. Incredible. Lucas Hedges was also... what a funny little quirky guy in this movie. He was cute,
subdued but powerful.
Yeah,
you know?
It was great.
Yeah.
Sorry Baby, just an absolute feat on all fronts. And I love this movie. And if you haven't seen Sorry Baby, you gotta watch Sorry
ASAP.
Baby. Yeah, ASAP No Rocky.
Absolutely, ASAP. Yeah, ASAP No Rocky. Yeah.
All right, bro. That's my number 4. Now we're entering into the top 3, baby. The top 3. These three.
Bulletproof.
I feel like we actually might have similar top 3s.
I know we have the same number 1, but our 2 and 3 are different.
All right.
Well, actually, no. Actually,
it might be different. It might be different. Let's hear them. Let's your number 3 spot.
I feel it in my heart. Okay, so my number 3, and it's funny. This was my number 1 for most of the year until recently. One Battle After Another by PTA.
Ooh, okay. I was not expecting that.
The way that PTA, in the way that Sopranos demystifies gangsters, I think this film demystifies revolutionaries and humanizes them and shows the messy, chaotic, sprawling network that it is and how intense it is. And honestly, it's real, and how much it fails, and you know how much the villains fail because of that failure, strangely, how changing the world and teaching the next generation what to do is not this linear, beautiful, smooth path that I think a lot of people think it is. And, you know, I was thinking, you know, let me look at this cat, you know, Tiana Taylor, Chase Infinity, Benicio del Toro, Sean Penn as one of the best villains I've ever seen. Leonardo DiCaprio, Regina Hall, everyone is just flying, is just flying through this effortlessly. They make acting look like I could do it. Yeah. And then on top of it, PTA is really just watching him, you know, as a kid from There Will Be Blood and on, just seeing him mature as a filmmaker. And I felt like there was so much of him in this because, you know, he has Gen Z daughters, and the way he treats Gen Z with so much respect and sees them as a beacon of hope really just, oh man, this is a beautiful film, and I think it truly is working class cinema, working class frame rate.
Yep.
And, you know, and two small beers. But I was going to say, just on the humor, when it would get serious, it was terrifying, but it also was so funny. And just this command as a filmmaker. I really think this is PTA's, I don't know if I'd say it's his best, but man, I really think he's blossomed into this.
It's really hard to say a best for PTA.
Like, dude, but that's the thing is about a lot of his films, man.
Yeah.
It's like, but even then, he's still impressing me. This felt, even for him, it still felt new, which surprised me. And man, I just, I could gush about this for hours, but what it has to say about both sides, and and it humanizes even the villains, and but also doesn't detract from their terrifying nature of their systemic power. It's like
what a good way to put it.
I think of this film, and I think of so many I still think of new layers of it, and it's dude, I just think this is a magical film, and I think what he managed to pull off, especially knowing that the filming was very chaotic, and even the third act at points wasn't even written. It's insane. And I have to, that's why it's like no matter what, it couldn't leave the top 3. I have to give it to PTA.
No, I love
that.
But
that's my number 3, man. I love this film.
Yeah, well, to counter that, my number 3 is actually No Other Choice by Park Chan-wook.
No Other Choice. 3.
Yeah,
okay,
Park Chan-wook is sitting at my number 3 spot. Listen, this. Where do you start with this movie, man? Like, the acting, incredible. The humor, watching this at the Chinese theater.
Oh, yeah. Was incredible.
Was just such a delight. The room was laughing so much more than I thought they were going to be laughing. I just took a moment to look around and see the future of movie-going and movies. Like, just being like, wow, people don't care as much for subtitles anymore. Seeing that room packed for No Other Choice, a movie by Park Chan-wook, was just so surreal to me. Like, I had a blast watching it. The transitions are incredible. Some incredible camera work. A story that feels so real. Like, and also just this man who, despite like doing everything that he's doing, it's really to maintain a lifestyle that he can't afford anymore. And like he kind of like loses his humanity in this vain chase for just I wouldn't even say the word's not vanity. I'm looking for a word here. Material goods, right?
Material goods. Well, and how I would even to add what you're saying, how it teaches us that it's important to us, but when you break it down, it's really meaningless.
Yeah. I'll say one of my favorite scenes is definitely at that end when he is finally head to head with the CEO. That entire sequence is so is nauseating. Yeah, and just
that ending is nauseating.
It's such what an incredible end to this movie too, and just seeing the deforestation happen in real time was
and the implications.
Right, and then him alone in a factory was just shocking to see that ending, and the bleak future that lies ahead potentially for humanity. And No Other Choice sits on my number 3 spot. It's just an incredible movie.
And that leads into my number 2, No Other Choice.
Oh, no way. Okay.
Well, dude, I mean, I've told this to Josue, but I think it's Park Chan-wook. I'm so sorry. I don't know. I still am figuring out his name after 20 years of being a fan, basically. But the way he deconstructs people and their relationships to their systems is like stellar, and I it feels so. He makes it seem so seamless. He makes directing look so I his transitions, the way he edits, the way he uses color grading and infuses it. It's like he's a maverick. I think he's honestly one of the best of his generation, if not top 3. But this film specifically, and how it's people living in a system that alienates you and clearly does not think of your survival, and the way we sort of build these identities around our lifestyles, and how that falls apart because the volatility of capitalism inevitably changes. And what once can be seen as a productive person, with a stable career, everything, family life, falls apart just as fast as you get it. And there's even a line in that film, it's like, just right when you get everything you want, it's taken right from you. And I was thinking, I think what really blows my mind about this film, and playing into the ending, spoiler warning, is how they do all of this depravity just to get even a semblance of stability again, just for him to get this job that even the people hiring say this is a trial period. So he doesn't even get a job. He gets a trial period of a job. And even though he has saved his lifestyle, he can't change the fact of he knows, and his family knows, who he is now and what kind of a person he really is deep down. And the way, and I love these contrasts where sure, he acknowledges these people are doing bad things, but it's also how that predatory system compels you to do it. Because if you don't, you're going to be like that guy. And if you don't do it, what are you going to do? What are you going to tell your kids? Like, you have no excuse. And, and the way these things unravel people, unravel marriages, unravel families, devastate people's lives. People literally get killed in this movie for it, and God, and it's like ultimately just to win back favor in a system that is just seeking to annihilate you and annihilate the world. And that last shot of his face in that factory, man, this is just, dude, it's like every time I think I see good cinema, I watch something like No Other Choice, and I'm like, dude, filmmakers should not be operating under this level at all. Like, this is like, if he can do it, you can do it. And it's just like, whoa. And nah, man, I've had a strange tether with him as a filmmaker my whole life. Ever since I saw Old Boy in 8th grade, I saw Handmaid in my senior year of high school. I feel like there's always been at turning points in my life. There's a great Park film right there for me. And this
again,
attitude,
he meets the moment.
Yeah,
he meets the moment once again.
Yeah, and outshines his compatriots. So No Other Choice, my number 2.
Yeah, look, that leads into my number 2. Which is Alpha by Julia Ducournau. Alpha is just such an incredible movie. It accomplishes something that has only been outdone by one other movie in this year, which is my number 1 film. I feel like this movie takes so many risks in the way that it edits it, in the way that it talks about grief, in the way that it talks about addiction, in the way that it talks about how we process grief. Yeah, how we process the grief. And I think that this movie just it cuts so fucking deep for me. And I watched this 3 times the week that I had the chance to watch it, and I got a different experience every time that I watched it, and I'm just as excited to watch it again. I am like, Julia Ducournau has become one of my favorite filmmakers of all time for me. A personal favorite of mine. The way that what she accomplished with Raw, what she accomplished with Titane, and now what she's accomplished with Alpha. I feel like she's ever so getting better at at her vision and crafting these stories. And honestly, it's one of my favorite leading performances. I'm trying to make sure I don't mispronounce her name. Golshifteh Farahani. Farahani's performance in Alpha is jaw-dropping. It rebels Rose Byrne's performance. It almost comes close to me for Jessie Buckley, even though I think Jessie Buckley's performance is generational in Hamnet, but she puts on one hell of a performance here. Everything about this movie is oozing in passion. This movie's got just so much going
Very
for
human.
it in there, and just the attempts at what it does to create a new experience that I'd never seen on screen before. All land for me. I completely understand how people can walk away from this movie not entirely feeling as strongly as I have, because this is a movie that is attempting to do something completely different. And I mean, even when I watched this the first time, I was still piecing it together when I sat in that room at the last couple of minutes as the credits rolled, and then knowing what I did know walking into it the second time, just left completely mind blown. Alpha is incredible. It's my number 2 movie. It almost remained my number 1 up until recently, which I gotta give it to my number 1 movie, which I feel like is your number 1 movie.
We both chose Resurrection by Be Gone. Yes,
man.
Oh, dude, this movie is like, you forget that like film is still in its infancy in the grander scheme of time, and watching this, I don't think I felt such a catalog of emotions that were so sporadic and firing in every direction, like with this film. And just the way it sort of like takes 6 chapters, the 6 senses, I think it is, of Buddhism, and mind, spirit, thought. And it sort of explores our relationship to dreams. And each segment is unique in its own way, with a different visual style, different sense of humor, different era of filmmaking. I don't want to spoil too much, but there's specifically a silent film segment that this started the film.
Right.
And the way it was shot, instantly like glued to my seat. Like I didn't move for the next 2 hours and 43 minutes. And dude, it's like you forget that film can still push boundaries when you see stuff like this, and it's just a voice that deserves that command and respect.
Yeah, no,
M83 soundtrack too.
M83 soundtrack that is not as frequent as you would think, and I think that it works in its benefit because I was talking to you about how I felt the weight of time with this movie, and just how how in most movies, at least not good movies, when I feel the runtime is when I'm like, I'll check out of a movie. I'm like, yeah, this is, it's not doing it for me. But in this case, I welcomed it. I welcomed the pacing and how I was feeling the weight of these images and the story and the emotions and just everything that was happening on screen was just it was at points not even computing in my mind how the fuck some of this shit got done.
Yeah,
and there's something in the beginning, not the silent film, or it might have been part of the silent film. I don't think so. But we see this shot and you have it almost looks like a dollhouse, and you could see further in the background different scenes, different rooms, and there's stuff happening in the background that is so detailed that I just was thinking like, dude, how the fuck did he pull this shit off? And then even the hand that swings in that frame is working at a different frame rate than the actual shot of the scene itself. And then seeing that hand just move at different parts throughout that, all in one shot, just dude, my eyes were just gouging out of my fucking sockets.
And his command of tone, like there's a segment, like I love the noir segment, and then later there's a sunny segment that almost feels like the 70s, and you forget at points this is the same movie.
Yeah.
And it's like the way he controls so much of that color, that timing, the pacing flawlessly. And the way he just, I love that he just takes the sort of Tarkovsky and Lynchian route where he doesn't need words at points. Like just the visuals tell the story. And in a way, and this is one of those films that, like you said, you know, I actually said to myself something I haven't said in a long time. I was like, how did they do that?
Yeah.
I made me curious.
Yeah.
And it was just beautiful.
And you know, to your Tarkovsky and Lynch point, as I was watching this, obviously the names David Lynch came up, the name Tarkovsky came up, and not even, obviously there's influence, but I was telling you this on the phone, I feel like he sits there with them. He has made his own path in a way where he doesn't, it's not like his influence is strictly pulling from that. He's able to extend what they have started, what they envision, and what they have done, and it is the next step in evolution for movie making, for cinema. And like as I was sitting down in my seat, I felt like I was witnessing history and witnessing something something I'd never seen before. And of course, the one take 36-minute scene or story of these two lovers. And I don't want to spoil much here, but just mind numbing, the colors, the rain, the navigating through these stairs and these alleyways as the rain pours. Unbroken from red to blue to the sunrise. And there's even as we are like about 25 minutes, maybe 30 minutes into the one take, the camera sits down and we peer out of a window, and then the time rate changes outside in that one take. I just like, it's almost like he's like laughing at me and being like, actually, I'm not done yet. And he's like, dude, I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna just keep like doing stuff that has never been accomplished before on screen, and just like I can't believe what I watched. I genuinely can't believe what I watched.
Yeah, no, I think a lot of filmmakers talk about themselves in the sense that they think they're boundary pushing, but then someone like Began comes along and it's like, no, I actually am boundary pushing.
Yeah, and this is a name that everybody has to get familiar with.
Absolutely.
I think with this movie alone, I feel like he will become one of the greats. Like,
absolutely.
If not, he might be in running right now.
Absolutely.
Like he's just what this movie accomplishes. Is
as
just
an introduction, this is like spellbinding. This is crazy.
It's just it is for me the best movie of the year. Like it doesn't come close.
Yeah. No, I can't compare it to any other experience.
Yeah. What a fucking year. What a year.
This was hard. This was hard.
What like and even then like my top like 20, if I'm gonna go really fast, in my top 20 I got The Phoenicia Ski, Friendship, Blue Moon, Sentimental Value, The Secret Agent, Twinless, Hamnet, After the Hunt, Marty Supreme, If I Had Legs I'd Kick You. Bangers, movies right there. Yeah, I love these movies right there too. I don't know if you want to quickly give us your some of these
some honorable mentions. Okay, well, I mean, I'd say like Friendship almost made this list.
Yes,
Marty Supreme almost made this list, but If I Had Legs I'd Kick You took the spot.
It's fair.
Honestly, I'm gonna be real. Like, I'm sure there's a lot more.
Yeah.
But it's just hard for me to quantify because, like, I feel like what the problem with me is that I find these top 10s and I feel like I focus a lot on them. And it's just like, I don't know. And, like, honestly, I'm sure, like, I was thinking, like, how, like, I saw Friendship a couple times. I saw. I can't even remember. There's so many good ones. And there's some I haven't even seen.
Surat.
Surat was great. It was just an accent I still need to see. I also still need to see Superman was phenomenal. I didn't see Splitsville. Bro. I mean, there's a lot.
You're
not
of stuff. Gonna mention Thunderbolts, bro?
Fuck no.
You're not gonna mention Jurassic World Rebirth, bro?
No. And then not a great one of the year, but
Shelby Oaks.
But yeah, I love you, Chris Tuckman, but no.
Yeah, I love you, Chris Tuckman.
But yeah, no, there's just, and even stuff I didn't like say a Shelby Oaks, it's like there was still something to talk about, and I like that. Even the ones that didn't work, like Smashing Machine, for example,
right?
There was still things about it that was interesting to me, and it was fun to discuss.
Yeah, no, I agree. Working Class Frame Rate, what a year! What a year! This is the last one, last video of the year. Like, what a year for movies, for the podcast, for everybody who's been watching us. This was a little bit on the longer side. There's just a lot of talk about these movies, and if you haven't seen these top 10, please do. I actually full recommend these movies. Like the top 10 that for the year, these are movies that you have to get to. I can't.
You're not losing with any of these.
No, 100% not.
Nope.
Josue Arellano, Working Class Frame Rate, signing off. We will see you next year, 2026.
For a new year.
Is there any movie that you are looking forward to next year?
I guess right off the bat, Bone Temple, and in March, near a couple days before my birthday, they're doing the Alpha release finally. So I'm going to make that my birthday movie, go rewatch Alpha.
Alpha release. We got Doom Part 3.
Is that next year?
Dude, I think so, bro.
Dude,
yeah.
I mean, that's already going to be top 3. I know it. But
yeah, I believe they asked, December 18, 2026. And I think they might have even moved it up, actually.
The Odyssey's coming out.
Yeah, the Odyssey.
You on pack watch for me, Christopher Nolan, but I'll be there. I'll be there.
Man, it's just going to be such a journey. Next year is going to be exciting. I'm hyped as hell to run a lot of these new episodes, maybe new look. We'll see what's going to happen. But
we'll see what's going to happen.
Again, thank you so much for being here, guys. We appreciate it. Thank you so much. If you liked our episodes, go ahead and share them with a friend. Let us know in the comment section if there's stuff that you guys want to see us do. It's always great to hear you guys and your feedback. Working Class Frame, and I'm your co-host, Josue.
Happy Austin Cummings. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Happy holidays.
Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. We love ya. 2026.
Peace. Sayonara.
Love ya.
Working Class Frame